Alright, what's good, y'all? It's HTY here. So, this is gonna be the first video that I'll be dropping on this channel that I made with Silva. So, in this video, we're gonna be talking about how traits from the Doomsday update has been both amazing and also terrible for the game, in my opinion. And yeah, let's just get started. Let's start with the good parts about traits to me. I think the best part about traits overall in this update is that it adds way more variety to gameplay, especially in 1v1s. So like for example, I'm using a Kujin and someone's using a Kasumi. Normally without traits, there's really not much that a Kasumi can do in this matchup just because it's way too slow. But compared to if we use traits in this matchup, it becomes way more competitive because a Kujin would actually have to keep up with the speed of a Kasumi in order to beat it. And I think that overall makes 1v1s much more fun and yeah, I think that would be the best part of the update in my opinion because I personally do 1v1s a lot. And the next part that I'd like to talk about is the public server experience. I think that leveling up has been way more engaging ever since the update dropped because of trades. Like, I think there's way more incentive to level up now, and I think that it also creates a bigger distinction between lower levels and higher levels, and I think that would encourage players to actually level up their kaijus. And I think that this also plays a big part into improving the retention span of players in this game. Like within the past week, this game has been consistently around 2k players, which hasn't been seen since like a year ago, which did surprise me a lot actually. And yeah, that's about it. I think that traits are overall great for gameplay quality for players who play in public servers and even in 1v1s because it does make 1v1s more fun to me. So the next part I'd like to talk about is the bad parts about traits. So the first point I'd like to bring up, which is the biggest issue I have with traits so far, is the balancing state of it. It's like some of these traits are just straight up useless while others are just overpowered as fuck. So like for example, you have kaijus like Tinsin who has completely useless level 75 and 100 traits. Like I don't think even one of them actually buff Tinsin. Well, there's some that outright nerf it even. I don't have the screenshots of its traits here, but you can see it for yourself in game. It's fucking dog shit. Um, there's also kaijus who have OP ass traits. Like, for example, Sakura could effectively have permanent regen 1 with this blooming resurgence trait. Like, this is extremely cancerous because like it only lets Sakura have 450 less base and max HP, but oh, it just has permanent regen 1. That's fucking ridiculous. And like there's also you also have kaijus that are even more overpowered with certain statuses like Resurrects, who can get Fire Tree with its status, which is there's never been a kaiju that could inflict Fire Tree that has had good balancing aside from Faller, and that's just because it's very hard for Faller to get Fire Tree with its V. And another thing, another kaiju that has OPS traits is well, it would be Amor. Amor is fucking OP as shit. Like it has a trait that effectively lets it have a 25% damage resistance plus a trait that lets its A5 deal 50% more damage, which basically makes it beat any kaiju in game in the face tank considering it also has leech on other kaijus with A5. I think that's really ridiculous and yeah, Amor is just busted as fuck at the moment. Um I think overall, like, oh yeah, there's also another trait that I'd like to talk about, the resolve trait. The resolve trait is pretty damn broken as well. It's probably the most broken trait for a level 25 and 50 trait. Like this, the fact that this trait is on kaijus that have like 7k HP, like Kimura for example, it pretty much lets them have like 11k effective HP, which is really annoying to deal with. Cause like you might be beating their ass at first, but oh, just because of this resolve trait, they get way more tankier and you can't really do shit to them after that. So like that's really annoying. And yeah, that's my overall thoughts on the balancing state of traits so far. It's way too inconsistent, but I do think that it can be improved over time. And the next point I would like to talk about is matchup testing. Matchup testing will be much harder just because you have to run through a bunch of traits to have a given outcome in even just one matchup between two kaijus. And I think this will make the community, it will be much harder for the community to actually have a good sense of the meta. So they will just not really know what's OP or what's not OP. And you'll just be hearing a bunch of uneducated takes on the meta a lot of the time. I mean, we've already been seeing that, but it's gonna be way more frequent compared to before. And the next part I'd like to talk about is the Juggernaut trait, and it's more so about how accessible it is from a lot of kaijus. Over half of the kaijus in this game can access this trait, and the thing is that a lot of these kaijus as well, they also have dashes which pretty much neutralize the con of moving 17% slower in the Juggernaut trait. It basically makes them have like, it basically gives an outright buff to them with barely any downside, which is pretty ridiculous. Like for example, Kaiju. Kaigu's mobility relies heavily on its dashes, and it can use the Juggernaut trait. So it's barely even an there's barely even a con to it. Juggernaut trait's just OP with it. Like I think that Juggernaut trait should be only reserved for kaijus who have like dashes that are slow or have high cooldowns, while also being a slow kaiju in general. And the last point I would like to bring up is, well, because I've seen other people bring it up, I don't really care about this that much. Like the RNG for level 100 traits being bad, like the second one being 8%, the third one being 3%. I mean, I don't really mind them much because like it's pretty well. Vera did say that he was gonna make he was gonna make these traits more obtainable after the next few boss fights are added. So I don't really care about that part much, but yeah, that's my overall thoughts on traits in this update. Like, there's both great parts and also terrible parts. I think that this game with traits, it does make gameplay more fun, but it does fuck up the balancing a lot. That's my general take on traits. And yeah, that's about it.